Hello, Mark Satterfield here. Thanks so much for joining me. Today I want to talk about boring marketing and how to make your marketing more exciting. The problem winds up being is that most people will come to your website or read your marketing material and they'll kind of go, I've seen this 100 times before. It's not that interesting, and they'll move on. So how can we make it more interesting, more compelling? How can we create marketing that does not put people to sleep? So I want to give you some thoughts. And specifically, we're going to talk about it in the context of your website, but it's applicable to really all the marketing that you do. So if I went to your website as a first-time visitor, and you can do this yourself, go to your website, but with the eye of a first-time visitor, what would hit me? What would be the first impression? What would I get from it? And I'm going to answer that question without even seeing your website. Because my bet is that if I go to your website, it's all about you. It greets people with, this is what I do, this is my expertise, this is why I'm great, blah, blah, blah. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a place for that. People are going to be interested in you. People are going to be interested in your expertise, but not initially. And as in any kind of marketing or sales process, sequence is super important. So what we want to do is we want to immediately greet people with something they're interested in. And what are people most interested in? They're interested in themselves. So you want to greet your visitors with the really big problem that you solve. So in effect, we're shifting the perspective of the website from you to them. Not that hard to do. And we start off with the headline. So the headline winds up being focusing on the really big problem. So what might a headline be? Well, here's how to solve the really big problem. 5 things people do that causes problems when they try to solve the really big problem. Here's what leaders in your industry are doing to solve the really big problem. You get the idea. I've given you some other templates in the copy that's below. So that's the headline. What that does is it makes people stop. It makes people go, hey, this person provides solutions to the really big problem I have. And it gets them to stop for a minute and stick with you. Now, this is the same in terms of if you do a video as well as doing text. Start off with what's the really big problem that people have. But we don't want to just stop there and now switch into you and how great you are. We want to build up the problem. We want to talk about what are the consequences that will happen if they don't solve the problem. And the reason we want to do this is because inertia is the biggest issue you face in converting prospects into paying clients. It's not that big a problem. I'll worry about it tomorrow. We all know what the excuses are. So you want in the next section of copy to focus on the consequences. And it's easy to do. Again, your copy goes along the lines of, unfortunately, if we don't solve the really big problem, this is likely to occur. So, how do we figure out what the consequences are? Again, pretty simple. Here's a fun exercise. I used to do this when I used to do marketing seminars. Think about the really big problem and then jot down the answer to what are the consequences that will occur if that really big problem isn't solved, okay? But then we want to go on. What are the consequences to that? And then you want to go on and say, and then what are the consequences to that? So if this happens, what are the consequences? And then if that happens, what are the consequences? And then if that happens, what are the consequences? What we found when we used to do it in seminars is in about 5 steps, you're out of business. Now, naturally, you're not going to go that far, but you do want to talk about what the consequences are because it both gets people engaged with you, it makes it interesting, and it reinforces the fact that people are at the right place. Then you can do the switch. And the switch is simply now we're talking about you and we're talking about your expertise, how you've helped other people solve the really big problem, perhaps testimonials from people that you have worked with who solved the really big problem. So again, it's all about sequencing. It's all about the order. And if you do that, then you no longer have boring marketing. You've got marketing that is interesting, marketing that's engaging. So let me make you an offer. Why don't we get together for, I don't know, let's say 20, 30 minutes, take a look at your website, take a look at your marketing materials, and I'll give you some ideas on how you can make it more interesting. Now, you don't have to take me up on the offer, and I know many people are skeptical and I think it's just a disguised sales pitch. But the reality is, look, I've been doing this for 30 years, and even more importantly, I've been really, really good with my money. So I don't really need your money. I mean, sure, if you become a client of ours, we're going to charge you. But in the initial conversation, no, I enjoy doing these things. All you got to do is fill out the form that's at the bottom of the page. That helps me a little bit separate the people who are serious about growing their business, and those are the people I love helping, from the people that either are thinking about starting a business someday, or just are kind of not serious. Those people I can't help. But anyway, the questionnaire takes, I don't know, maybe 2-3 minutes to do. It's pretty simple. Fill it out, and then there'll be one of these automated thingies that you can use to schedule some time with me. And I guarantee that, we'll end the call. If you're overseas outside the United States, we'll do it over Zoom. But I guarantee we'll end the conversation. You'll have some great ideas that will help you grow your business. Or if nothing else, at least make your marketing more interesting, more compelling. So, hope this was helpful. Hopefully it gave you some good food for thought. I do hope I have a chance to speak with you personally in the near future. But as always, thank you so much for being a part of my community. And until we do talk, this is Mark Satterfield. Bye for now.